Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Cast Brothers, a Smash or Dash episode, the penultimate Smash episode of this season. I'm Zantok, otherwise known as Lister. That's Jonno, otherwise known as my eternal tormentor. And we're here to bring you another
Whoa!
episode. Yay! It's what we do on this show. And because it's the penultimate Smash or Dash, well, it's gonna get weird. They always do. Because we decide,
Is
hey,
this?
look, why not have some stupid fun and have one matchup that's like, yeah, these are video game characters, but no. And one of the matchups, like, these aren't even video game characters. What are you guys on? It's like, listen, if I knew, maybe my life would be better.
Could this be the craziest episode we've done yet for a Smash or Dash?
Uh,
I mean,
I'd
it would
have to
definitely only be in
look.
contention with the penultimate ones or per season. Like I
Because,
remember Tony Hawk and Ronald McDonald and yada yada. But
like, the first season we did F-Type versus Savvy Stylus, two very not fighters, and then Goku versus Spider-Man, which is outside of Smash being only video games, that's a fairly decent matchup. The second
I
season
would
we
say
did,
these matchups are weirder.
yeah.
Yeah.
Second season we had the Fall Guy from Fall Guys, which is the crewmate from Among Us, which were both very topical and popular games at the time. And then Ronald McDonald
Mhm.
versus Burger King, which are odd, but they pair well together.
Okay, so these matchups are weirder than that.
Season 3 we had The Sims versus
hmm
Lemmings, which
hmm
relatively similar in concept between the two of them. And then Tony Hawk versus Shaquille O'Neal, sports people that have video game connections.
I would say these matchups are weirder than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then last season, we decided to do like, hey, what if we did like normal enemies? So we did Shy Guy versus Critter, and then SpongeBob
Mhm.
versus Shrek, which both have their own games as well. So
Okay,
yeah,
this
I
is the
think
weirdest we've ever gone.
yeah.
Wow.
However, not
Mhm.
to tease things too much.
Yeah.
But what we have planned for next season is even weirder.
What is it? Let me see. Oh God. Yeah, we'll be sticking to those planes.
Yeah, yeah. It's, things
But
can always
for
change, but
Mhm.
next season's gonna
Mhm.
get even wilder. It's like, what the fuck, guys? I don't think we can top it anymore past that. It's just gonna be like, all right, this weird shit again. Back to normal
Mhm.
level of weird. Dial it
Mhm.
down.
But for right now, this is a milestone episode for year 5, the weirdest matchups we've ever had on this show.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh me, oh my. I would say
it
one
depends.
of
Honestly,
one
it
of these
depends on how
matchups
you define
especially.
weird. Because each of these characters individually are just like, what? But there's definitely been some
Mhm.
matchups that like are weird because the characters don't really fit against each other outside of us two. Like Paper Mario vs. Spy Fox. If you look at them just
Mhm.
as like remove the fact that that episode is about childhood nostalgia, those two characters have nothing in common. Like why are they up against each other?
Yeah, it's true.
Meanwhile, something like Jeff versus Duster is like, okay, well these are your two non PSI party members from Earthbound. It makes sense that they would go up against each other.
Right.
Depends on how you look at it. We've also
And
got
I think
some.
yeah.
We've also got some. I mean, honestly, our when we get to them, our rate their chances is most of them are normal. One of them, well, we'll get there. One of them's a one
We will
percenter.
get
I'll
there.
just say that. I would go lower if I could. We'll get there.
I don't know about that. I guess we'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there. I have opinions. To be fair, it's not a strong opinion, but it's both strong and not. It's kind of weird.
Kind of like a character.
Like it's not an opinion I'll get angry about, but it is an opinion that I'm just like, yeah, no, my mind's not being changed here.
Yeah, I guess
Uh,
that's where we're starting.
actually, I would like to start somewhere else.
Oh,
Because you
okay.
see, Jonno, from not time of recording, but time of upload, something relatively big in Nintendo's gaming sphere is going to be happening very soon.
Oh, the release of Emio,
Wait, do we have a release date for Emio? Shit.
August 29th.
Okay, well, that would have already happened before this episode releases.
Yeah, but not after. It's between episodes though, so we can be like, "Yay, Emio's out! Hooray!"
Yay, Emio's out!
Yeah.
I plan to stream it. I don't know when that's going to start, though, because one, it's not out yet, and I'm playing other games. The
The
mythical
eternal
land
struggle.
of recording things in advance, because you can't record things day up. That's crazy. Instead, you record things 3 months. We're not 3 months out. You record things ahead of time. Just do.
Yep. Yep.
But no,
Um.
what I'm referring to is the Splatoon 3 Grand Festival Splatfest, which is
Yeah.
supposed to be the quote unquote final Splatfest for Splatoon 3. And it's going to be lasting for 3 days from where the hell is the date? Oh, from September 13th to the 16th. And
Mhm.
previous Splatoon games, the final Splatfest has whatever team won has impacted part of the direction of the next Splatoon game. Splatoon 1 was Callie vs. Marie, and Marie won. And then Splatoon 2 started off with, like, yeah, by the way, Callie got kidnapped or something. And Marie was your main NPC in the story mode, and you had to, part of the story was helping to find what happened to Callie. The end of Splatoon 2's final Splatfest was Order versus Chaos. Chaos won, and so the main setting for Splatoon 3 was the Splatlands, and then our DLC was the Spire of Order. But now for
Mhm.
the Grand Festival of Splatoon 3, our options are past, present, or future, with the question of which is the most important. So, if pattern holds up, whatever wins is going to somehow affect whatever's going on in Splatoon 4. But I have a hard time figuring out how that's going to work here.
Yeah.
Because, like, what do they do if present wins? Like, there's an easy thought
Mhm.
of, like, okay, if past ones, like, maybe it's a prequel game. If future ones, maybe we get, like, a massive time skip or deal with some invasion of, like, aliens from the future or something. I don't fucking know. But present?
Mhm.
I don't know what you do with that.
Me either. Interesting thought.
Hmm.
We'll see. Oh no,
Oh, I thought you had
just
an interesting thought.
yeah. I'm
Well,
just ruminating on the idea of what present might be. I might be team present just to see what they do if it's somehow miraculously won.
if this
Although
wasn't the...
knowing,
No,
yeah.
go on.
Oh, just knowing gamers and knowing like kids and how that mindset works, I would not expect present to win.
Well, that's the thing with Splatoon is it's always weird. Just because one team is popular does not mean that team is going to win. Because oftentimes it's like, oh, this team has the most people on it. Cool. That means they're going to end up fighting each other in the Splatfest, so they're not going to be getting points against the other teams. And it also means,
Mhm.
yeah, sure, you might have a lot of good people on it, but you're also probably going to have a lot of the bad people on your team.
That's true, especially with the Trifest in 3. I never got used to it. Honestly.
I did the first Splatfest with Splatoon 3. I might have done the second one. And then I really didn't play multiplayer Splatoon 3. I
I
like
was
the
me
story
too.
mode. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I have other games to
I
play.
like I like playing multiplayer. It just kind of fell off for me this time. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I mean, it's clearly the best example of Splatoon gameplay we have. It's a really good game, and I'm surprised that we're already here. But yeah, it's been out for 2 years. Wow,
I mean, Splatoon 1 and
time
Splatoon
flies.
2, I did a lot of the multiplayer. Splatoon 3, I think it just released a time where it's like, I play so many other, like, I'm trying to play, like, so many other games, so I just not play everything, but, like when I finish the game, I move on to the next game. And so I don't have the time to
Yeah.
do this whole big multiplayer thing. That said,
Hmm.
I want to play the Splatfest.
Hmm.
Ideally, depending on how things shake out with it, I would like to stream either the Saturday or Sunday of it and get
Yeah.
some matches in with that. Uh, but as for which team I'm going to join, if this wasn't the final Splatfest, I would be like team present easily. Don't
Hmm.
get you like all three things are important, but I've always been of the mind of just like you have to keep your eyes where you are If you look too much in the future, you're going to lose track of things. You're going to stumble over where you're standing now. If you only look in the past, you're going to find yourself stuck there and you're never going to get out of it. But
Hmm.
with this being in
Agreed.
Splatoon and how they do things, I'm just like, I'm thinking more meta with this. Like, what would be the most interesting for Splatoon to do? I'm just thinking, like, Team Past? Like, could we see the
Hmm.
Great Turf War where when Captain Cuttlefish was young? That'd be amazing.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. That'd be really cool. I am undecided. I mean, if I went with the moral option, it would be present because I agree with your mindset. Future. I mean, we kind of already got
Order.
some weird. Yeah, exactly. We got order and we got. I'm forgetting the name of that
Alterna?
DLC, but
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
Spire of
there we go.
Order.
Yeah. Oh, right. That felt pretty much like a indicative of what they could do with the future setting.
Yeah, and Alterna definitely had like sci-fi vibes to it, especially the ending.
Hmm. So, I mean, having already gotten that, I would agree. Like if they past setting, that would be more interesting. Unless they went way into the future and you're dealing with like humans
Robot.
coming back or some shit. Yeah, robots. There you go. Yeah. This one we already kind of dealt with the mammalian plague and all that shit. We'll see
Yep.
how that goes later on.
Yeah.
Okay, well it's exciting. I liked watching the trailers. Very bombastic and cool, and
When is Splatoon
I'm
not
glad.
bombastic?
Yeah, I'm glad that Splatoon has been a breakout hit for Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's kind of goes against the grain of what they've traditionally done. So it's like their cool IP. Yeah.
And it's really the like Nintendo, they do a lot of stuff with their own series, but there haven't been very many new IPs in the past, let's say 20 years, 10, 20 years, that have gotten a successful game and then gone on to have successful series. Like we've had new things get created, Game Builder Garage, Ring Fit Adventure,
Hmm.
but how many of them get multiple games and a lasting fan base?
Right.
Arms didn't.
No, it has the same kind of aesthetic appeal, but the gameplay just left us wanting.
Yeah, I feel like the most recent was Splatoon, and the one before that was Xenoblade.
Yeah, Splatoon, Xenoblade, and shit before that. What was it? Pikmin, and that was a long time ago at this point.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and just Pikmin and Xenoblade. They're they're their own stories. They feel a little more niche. Splatoon, I mean, that this feels like more than anything something that can really break into mainstream over time.
Yeah.
Which, although Pikmin 4 sold a shit ton, so good
And
for them.
I'm not sure which was first, either with Pikmin or Chibi Robo, because Chibi Robo also got its famous and got several games. Just Nintendo kind of ignored it. It's like, guys, what the hell?
I wish that I wish that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
That could have easily been Pikmin's fate too, with because Hey Pikmin came out to similar reception to Ziplash.
And even
But
until Pikmin 4, even the games weren't selling that well, though they were just Miyamoto's passion project.
yeah, it was Miyamoto towards the end of his career. This massively respected figure saying, "Listen here, motherfuckers, we're gonna fucking do this fucking Pikmin game with the fucking dog, and you're gonna like it."
Mm-hmm. And people did.
They're like, they're like, dogs, you say? So it will finally sell.
Wow.
Ochi and
Rip.
Moss almost upended everything, but they held it together.
The ancient sire hound.
Love that guy.
It's like the dog ancestor. It's like, what? Okay. What?
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know, but it's better than Donkey Kong Country Returns and Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Uh, no funky mode?
No funky.
No funky, no buy.
No funky, no bite.
I like some funky Kong, especially in Tropical Freeze, because that game is hard as shit.
It honestly is surprising that they gave us Tropical Freeze, which had which had Funky Mode, and then they gave us, and then Donkey Kong Country Returns gets its Switch port,
Mhm.
and it's getting nothing. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Look,
well,
I
it's
am.
really
I mean,
weird.
I'm not mad. Returns is getting a release. Obviously, I
Yeah,
prefer a new Donkey Kong game, but at the same time, my belief with games in general is that they should be multi-generational. There should be releases for these great games per system in some form, so that we are not losing them.
yeah.
So in that case, it's good. $60 price tag for no improvements since 3DS, though.
It just feels like the return just not. It's like it's just like the kid you're dropping off somebody else's doorstep, or no, that
Right.
meme where the kid is drowning. You know, the
Hmm.
one being held
Hmm.
up is Tropical Freeze. The drowning one is Returns. The one that's at the bottom is the originals.
Yeah, they could do it. Just go Donkey Kong Country 4 and do a pseudo Super Nintendo DKC style game
So
like
like
Super
what they did
Mario
with Sonic
RPG
the
works on
Hedgehog 4.
Switch. Yeah,
What
only good.
in the age when we were releasing game updates in episodes. Boy, I'm glad that died. Oh
How
boy.
horrible it is. Yeah, how horrible it is that we have Sonic 4 and it's that. Lord.
Sonic 4 Episode 1, Sonic 4 Episode 2. Half-Life, what was it?
Sonic.
Half-Life 2 Episode 2, I think, also had that. Final Fantasy
Hmm.
4, the after years came out in episodes.
Hmm.
And
Hey,
that
at
game
least we
was a
had.
retread of the original.
Yeah. Hmm. What if we do Sonic X Shadow Generations? At least we have that now.
But see, that's more like Tropical Freeze, because they're
Hmm.
releasing a port of Generations, but they're adding in new character with Shadow. And
Oh
that
yeah,
last I
yeah.
saw, speculation was we were getting a fourth character based on a description of the game implying it.
Perhaps,
I
perhaps,
think
yeah.
they'd say for that, like, I don't know if they ever announced who that character was, but like they had previously said, it was like, oh yeah, it can't be Classic Shadow because Classic Shadow didn't exist. There was no Shadow back then. It's like, okay, well, what would it be? Rouge? Which didn't exist back then, so it'd just be like modern Shadow and modern Rouge, and the only classic character, Classic Sonic. That's kind of weird to me.
We'll say, oh, it's Metal Sonic. He's bad.
I don't know. Actually, no. Metal Sonic was, yeah. Metal Sonic would have been around back then, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
made sense. Or they could have just been like, oh, I don't know the plot of Generations, but maybe this was
Hmm.
like you see Classic Eggman, and he's like, wait, who's the Shadow character? I'm gonna make my own. Then they could have just had it, Classic Shadow be created right there. That's what I would have done.
People would actually love that, I think.
I think it'd be funny.
Um, hmm I no, I'm looking forward to the game. I am. I would consider buying it towards launch. It's I really enjoyed Generations when it
I've
came out.
played two Sonic games, and it was Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood, which I found out wasn't made by the Sonic team.
Mm-hmm.
It was made by, what was it, Bandai or something?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I'm
I
sorry
didn't
because
finish it.
that game sucks ass.
It wasn't great. No,
And
no, it was
and no
BioWare.
uncertain terms.
BioWare
Yeah.
made this game.
What? Oh, I
BioWare
forgot that.
made the Sonic RPG on the DS and had some kind
Mhm.
of like, not a rhythm mechanic. There's like a tapping, drag your stylus around for the attacks mechanic.
Mhm.
It
You know what?
was
You would think a
okay.
Sonic RPG is good. You would think it would be good because the groundwork was there 20 years ago with Mario RPG. Like, here is a game that we made an RPG that's a Mario game first. You're jumping and collecting items and ramming into things. Just do that with Sonic. It's an RPG, but he go fast. You're like, oh, okay.
Apparently, it was intended to be the first in a series, but then EA bought BioWare and it was
Oh
scrapped.
God, Lord.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean,
Sorry, Bio.
I only found out that Sega didn't make it recently when the creator of Sonic was saying, it's like, we haven't made an RPG yet. I want to make a Sonic RPG. I was like, but we have one. Wait, you didn't make it? Oh.
Interesting. Well, that is even more strange because I mean, BioWare made great RPG games. They made the first few Dragon Ages. They made Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. It's like, okay,
Maybe it was their
all
D
right.
team.
Maybe
Or who
so.
knows, like, I don't know what other games they're making around that time. But just because a
Hmm.
company makes great games, the same, it's not the company, it's the people. And if those
Hmm.
people moved on to either different projects, different companies, then it doesn't
Yeah,
matter if it was made by a great company or not.
right, right. Yeah, even Nintendo, even
Yeah.
Nintendo, like we said, Ziplash and Hey Pikmin existed.
Oh, it was released the year after Mass Effect, which tells you that the people that made Mass Effect weren't working on this game. It was a different
Hmm.
team at BioWare.
Right. Okay, interesting.
Well, after that distraction, let's get into the episode, shall we?
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
Well, we are going to be starting things off with rate their chances as we do. First of all, we have on here. How do I describe this guy? I don't know how to
It's like
describe this guy.
paper but harder.
You know what? That's good because it's the Labo Man from Nintendo Labo, and he's made out of cardboard, flimsy cardboard, and he's got a Joy-Con controller stuck to his back,
Yeah,
which is really unfortunate. Like sitting can't be comfortable for this guy.
yeah, it's Sisyphus all over again.
Sisyphus.
However you pronounce it. I also pronounce it Labo. Just two different guys.
Wow. So if you weren't aware, in the mid to late 2010s, Nintendo decided, you know what would be fun, guys? Let's make our own VR because everybody was wanting to experiment with VR at the time. Some companies have kept up with it better than others, but Nintendo was like, you know what? Instead of making this big clunky headset and all these wires, we're gonna give you cardboard. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, your VR headset is going to be made out of cardboard. I'm sorry? And you're going to get a bunch of cardboard accessories, and you have to fold them just right. And if you don't fold it right, you got to buy another set because it's not going to work anymore. Oh. Oh no. I mean, it wasn't just VR. They had, like, I don't really know how to describe a lot of it, but it was more
Hmm.
like cardboard accessories. And then they also added in like a VR one later, and some games would have like VR support with Labo. Like I think Smash did, but even then it was just like exploring stages and taking pictures or something. It wasn't like actually playing it.
Right.
Back
I
then, nope,
totally forgot about that feature.
yeah. But they had like this little to promote it. They had this like, little character, which I don't know if they ever like had an official name for it. If it was just fans to call him Labo Man, and it was like this little cardboard dude and he just kind of stands there with his arms spread, and he's got a controller attached to him. And people are just like, "Oh, hey, put Labo Man in Smash, yeah!" So it's Labo
Hmm.
Man.
Wow, that is so trippy. Sorry, I'm looking at the Labo VR kit for Smash right now. That is so wow.
Yeah,
Okay. It's kind of cool, but honestly, but at the time, um I would have bought it had it not cost so much. I remember I'm pretty sure the VR kit cost like $80 or something like that.
Jesus,
And at the end of the day, it was really funny too because in 2017 when this came out or was revealed, Nintendo was going so hard at trying to say like this is the next hot shit. This is going to be so innovative and groundbreaking and incredible. And to a degree, it was an interesting project. But I think where it failed was like cardboard is not seen as this Lego level
Yeah.
thing that you invest hundreds of dollars in.
It's like it made it
Yeah.
cheaper to produce and to
Hmm.
sell, but it's also
Yeah.
not as sturdy as things
Hmm.
like PSVR or uh Oculus or whatever the hell the
Hmm.
Facebook one is, or is that Oculus? I don't know. They bought somebody's work and they claimed it as their own.
Like Tesla.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. um, yeah, I feel like if they were gonna do this and they wanted VR to the headstone for the whole thing, the flagship rather, just release a real VR headset. Call it a day. But that's a very Nintendo thing to do.
Yep.
And we got this character from out of it.
And I mean, I
At
could
the
see a
time,
character like
yeah.
this working in Smash pretty well. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
we've got
yeah.
fucking Game and Watch, but like you just
Hmm.
use like the various toy cons they called them from because there were four different Labo kits, variety,
Hmm.
robot, vehicle, and VR. So just use little different builds as part of it as attacks, like the fishing rod, the motorbike, the piano, robot, elephant. Yeah, that exists. I don't know, man. Listen, I should.
it's, it's been a
Sure.
very elephant forward generation for Nintendo.
The VR, the robot would probably be like the final Smash or something. Like they could easily make a moveset out of this. I think
Hmm.
the problem though is they launched in 2017, and then the last one was in 2019, and then it's been radio silence.
Hmm. Sorry, I was looking at the Labo elephant.
Yeah, it remind some of these designs remind me of WarioWare Smooth Moves. And the elephant
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of WarioWare Smooth Moves. Which isn't
Oh
bad, because
my
Smooth Moves was an
god.
amazing game. But
Definitely.
what
There's my next Smashtopia moveset.
the
This
elephant
kid
or Labo Man?
with the elephant specifically.
Sounds like a
But
spirit battle.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I mean, at the time, the character kind of picked up some space in the Smash community too. People were like, "Oh, this could be Game and Watch. This could be Rob Duck Hunt,
Yeah.
Wii Fit Trainer." Um, it's just the difference between Labo Man now and you and all these other characters. They did not make the cultural impact or the economic impact that these other characters did.
Nope.
It could definitely work. There were animations prepared at the time by fans that were very
Yeah.
impressive of Labo Man moving around with the Joy-Con and attacking. Like they made it look appealing. Like if that were he were in the game, I wouldn't have been mad about it. Um, and I could see how that might have been a consideration. I would have taken Labo by with.
Yeah.
But the time is obviously it's come and gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's sad. It released too soon for Smash, but also too what's no, I got that
too
wrong.
late.
It released too late for Ultimate, and it died too soon for the next one. Because I mean, if they
Hmm.
had kept doing Labo like say one kit every 2 years, and it was still
Yeah.
being a thing they were building off of up until now, then I would be extremely positive about Labo. Then I would probably go in like 70-80% if that was the
Ooh, yeah.
case. Because be like, this is
Sure.
so obviously your next what the fuck pick. This is your next Game Watch. This is your next Rob. But
Yeah.
the fact that it only lasted from April 2017 to April 2019, and then with a whimper, it's just been gone.
Hmm.
No fucking way. There's that very small Sakurai wild card chance that I would
Right.
not give this a 1% chance for purely because of that. But the odds are not good.
They are not. They are not. And even for a WTF pick, I mean, they tend to there's a certain logic that still goes behind that kind of character that I don't see with Lava Man anymore, unfortunately.
No.
Um So yeah, I would go pretty low. Definitely below 10. Um, definitely below 5. I would go like 3%.
I was thinking 4.
Okay, there you go. 3.5.
3.5 it is. All right. Next up, Mock
Balin
Rider.
from Balin Wonderland. Oh,
What?
even better.
Balin would be 0.5%. That game, like the trailers for that game, made it look pretty interesting. Then the game released, and everyone's just like, "This is shit." It's like, oh, well, sorry, Square.
Whoops. Yuji Naka has other things to worry about nowadays.
Is that the guy that got in trouble for betting on Sonic or something?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Don't think that sounds like it could be it. But Mock Rider, character we've talked about a bit on the show before. NES retro character. He rides the bike and he shoots the guns on his bike.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah,
had
buddy.
no real presence since then, but Sakurai likes retro characters. I like seeing retro characters come up. I
Hmm.
think there is good competition for retro characters, but I think Mock Rider is
Yeah.
one of the standouts.
Agreed. It's Mock Rider, it's Takamaru, Balloon Fighter. But yeah, they have the distinction of always being notable because they're towards the top of the heap of like, oh, these are interesting, realizable characters from the first console era for Nintendo. Because they're NES characters, there's always going to be that precedent where it's not like Lava Man, even though Mock Rider's a dead series. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, didn't matter for
Yeah.
Ice Climbers. Didn't matter for Duck Hunt.
Mm-hmm. Didn't matter for Rob. And
Does matter for
we did a
Takamaru
poop
though.
set.
Somehow,
I don't
explain that
get.
one to
Oh,
me.
yeah. I don't get it, man.
I
And a
mean,
couple times, yeah,
like
Nintendo's
he said, it's
flirted with bringing him
because
back.
yeah, he said it's because like, oh well, Takamaru wasn't released outside of Japan. It's like Nintendo Land, Samurai Warriors. I think NSO released him now. You can do
Well,
it.
yeah, I mean, you can easily do it. I mean, there are characters stranger than Takamaru in the first and second party pool that are already in
Yeah,
Smash.
Roy.
I mean, yeah, there you
I'm
go.
not wrong.
Um, no, not no. Um, yeah, it's just such an oddball thing, and plus, I mean, if you were never to release a game outside of Japan, or a character, or have a character who wasn't popular outside of Japan, uh, Smash wouldn't exist to a certain degree. You could argue that point. Like, oh, like Nintendo would not exist in America if you went hardline on those. It's like, okay, I think it's just one of those cute things that Sakurai just has scratching his brain,
Like
because he's done that,
Villager.
like Villager. I mean, eventually he can let up on it, and I think it would be for the better because Takamaru is a cool character. But yeah, but Mock Rider's here. Um, and I don't know if his chances are less or more than Takamaru. That's kind of a good litmus
It's
test.
hard to say because with Takamaru you have, let's be real, a very
Hmm.
basic character. We have
Sure.
a human sword fighter that would fight
Hmm.
with a samurai like style, but he's a human sword fighter. Mock Rider is on his bike. Would he be on the bike always in Smash? Or would it just be like Wario's bike? Who knows? But especially starting with Smash 4, Sakurai really likes giving new characters gimmicks.
Hmm.
Takamaru, gimmick wise, I mean, I guess you could say he's a projectile character based on
Hmm.
all his different items he has in the original game.
Ooh,
But Mock
stance
Rider,
changes.
oh my god, shut the fuck up. But Mock Rider has an easy gimmick in the bike.
Yeah.
If Sakurai can figure out in his head having him always be on the bike, we are going to get
Hmm.
Mock Rider. I'm gonna make that prediction. But that said, there's no way to confirm that because it's like if he can envision it in his head and make it work balancing wise and animation wise. But I
Yeah.
think if we get Mock Rider, it's gonna be on the bike always. I think that's what Sakurai would do. It's like here, so I can make this character be unique and stand out. You're it's a character on the bike always. It's like what he did with Bowser Jr.
Right. Okay, that appeals to me.
Oh, I know it does because we've argued about this. Because in my mind, no, you don't put him on the bike always. You don't put Sigurd on his horse. You don't have playful Epona. No.
But you agree if Sakurai had an inkling of how to figure that
Oh
out, he'd
yeah,
be like, oh, okay.
absolutely he would, because Sakurai is a crazy person. And I say that with all the love and respect for the man in the world. He's a crazy.
Very few people are capable of leading in the way that he will say that. And he has an interesting mind. We wouldn't be here if it weren't. So there you go.
Well, I mean, I don't think my existence depends on Sakurai making video games. I'm pretty sure I would be around regardless.
Well, we wouldn't be recording this.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know each other.
Maybe not. There's always a chance we could have run into each other in Game FAQs talking about something else, but
I didn't talk on Game FAQ.
Oh well, what's a series that you can obsess about to the same degree as Smash? It exists, but not for us.
Final Fantasy.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, we wouldn't have known each other. I would be talking about Tingle and his island in Wind Waker for 10 years. And Okami and Sleepy the Bear.
Mega Man Battle Network.
Yeah. Yeah. We wouldn't have known each other.
I wouldn't be playing Xenoblade if it wasn't for that.
Oh yeah, true. Wow. Thank you, Sakurai. Yeah, Mock Rider's towards the top. I think about this every so often, and I can't tell you if he's more likely than Balloon Fighter or Takamo not. Conventional wisdom and just kind of where we've leaned over time, kind of maybe suggests maybe he wouldn't be like, oh, it's like Balloon Fighter is a tribute to Iwata and does this that's pretty simple and can be easily realized. And Takamaru is samurai. Done.
And Lip is
Mock
the puzzle
Rider
character.
Yeah, true. And Mock Rider of those characters is probably the hardest to realize if you're slapping them on a bike.
Yeah.
That being said, if I'm approaching this from like both Mock Rider and like another retro pick, just kind of throwing that out there, like here's a handful of characters that it could be, and Mock Rider's one of them. That raises his chances. I'm thinking like middle ground right now. 40 to 50, somewhere around there.
That's about where I'm at as well. Which, normally, 40%, 50% doesn't sound good. But when you're looking at the huge pool of characters, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I agree. I'll say 45.
I was thinking 40.
Okay.
42.5% it is.
That's what I say every day.
No, you don't.
I will now.
Okay. Next up, Crash Bandicoot. From I don't know if you've heard of this series, but Crash Bandicoot. It's a little lesser known PS1 trilogy. You're a mutant bandicoot and just smash boxes by spinning into them. And there's an evil scientist who mutates animals.
The first time I played Crash Bandicoot was in the opening sequence of Uncharted 4. It was good. Did you play it back in the day?
A little bit. It was more my cousin's game. Me and my brother, we were more for Spyro than Crash. But my cousin loved it a lot, and I watched him play some of it. Tiny Tiger is always my favorite. And whenever I would play Crash Bash, or whenever I would play like Crash Team Racing, I played as Tiny. But when it came to Crash Bash, I played as Embryo instead.
As that
Funny scientist man, Embryo.
Okay. Apparently, I mean, this is an opportunistic time to kind of talk about this because at the time of recording, and I imagine this will still be evergreen news once this releases. Crash 5 has been canceled,
I don't know.
apparently.
No. They talked about how they had things for Crash 5, but Activision was just like,
Oh,
get in the Call of Duty mines. It's like, okay,
somehow that's even worse.
yeah.
God, that sucks. Well, hopefully we get it at some point. I think the series has had a really good revival so far, and people were receptive towards Crash 4, so why not?
Yeah, Crash 4 was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great game. Um, and I still think, even with that being said, about the Call of Duty mindset, yada yada, Crash still has a better chance than Ghost or Soap McTavish,
Yeah.
and and Crash has one of the best chances of any character to get into Smash. I think.
I don't know if I
Let me
agree.
rephrase: any third party, any third party.
I don't.
It's
I don't know.
really okay.
I mean, we've
I
gone back
know.
and forth talking about Crash, and like I know we talked about
Mhm.
him in an episode that's not out yet, related to roster redux, because recording things out of order. But I don't know if I would say right now that Crash is the most like a third party character. Period. Um,
Mhm.
I
Because
heard
it's Shovel Knight.
no, no. It's Wart actually.
Okay.
It's Spring Man.
Hmm.
I really don't know why I just recently, like in the past week, I started feeling a little bit negative about Crash's chances. I honestly don't know fully why. I think part of it is like some Activision saltiness, quite possibly, because there were rumors and speculation about how Activision was trying to get Crash into Smash Ultimate. And, like they had this whole like project plan for it all or everything, but then didn't end up happening. But was that plan true? Did they go to Nintendo and Nintendo said no? Did they go to Nintendo and they were trying to negotiate it and then it just fell through? Was it all a bunch of bullshit? Who the hell knows?
Hmm.
But the only reality we know for sure is that Crash is now owned by Microsoft. And I don't think
Yeah.
that necessarily moves the needle either which way. Even when we see things like, oh, so and so is the most likely Microsoft character, I don't think necessarily go. I don't think they're going. It's like, hey, we want to go represent this company or give characters of this company because Capcom. It's kind of
Hmm.
what makes me raise an eyebrow at that. Uh, I don't really know. It depends on like what they want. Crash would be a great representative of uh, early 3D platformers. Was
Yeah.
one of the biggest face. No, yeah, he was the biggest face of the PS1. The
Hmm.
biggest character for that console, or at least ones that were like directly Sony control, because Cloud.
Hmm.
He's kind of a big icon as well. But they don't necessarily. I don't think they're going for picking like based on genres or whatever. They're picking characters and franchises. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel odd. I don't know what to feel about Crash's chances.
I can agree with that nebulous mindset. I mean, now that they're owned by Microsoft, I mean, you do maybe mildly take into consideration the other characters from other subsidiaries of Microsoft because they've been so trigger happy on buying up these companies now. Um, there are multiple characters that could make it into Smash that are Microsoft owned, and it won't be all of them.
No,
Um,
but I don't think it.
Master Chief,
But I don't think
Doom
that would necessarily
Guy.
change if they weren't all owned by Microsoft. They would
Hmm.
like some of them might like you could see it, I think their odds might necessarily be better because Microsoft now has an established relationship with Nintendo in multiple ways, but
Hmm.
especially with
Hmm.
Sakurai, whereas maybe that relationship didn't exist with Activision or with Bethesda. But
Right. That's true. That's true. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It's just very dependent on the direction they choose to go with it, which is always kind of the crapshoot with third party selections. Based on name recognition alone, I would say he's more likely than most. Um, but Not necessarily. You don't know what kind of screwball picks will be thrown in there to surprise us, like Joker or Bayonetta. You don't know. It could just go any number of ways,
Yeah.
and this is just going with our Western mindset too. There could be characters we're not aware of in overseas that uh, make it in over Crash because they're more modern and whatever.
Astrobot.
Although Crash,
There's no way
sure,
Sony does it. No fucking way.
no way in hell.
That said,
Crash Bandicoot
Astrobot for
though,
PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale 2,
that'd be great.
that's
It'd be
very
good.
likely.
Do it. Yeah. Now whether PSA SBR2 is likely itself, who knows? But Crash is popular worldwide. He was a big renegade hit for the PS1 era globally. He maintained some relevance in Japan even during the dark ages with the Crash and Spyro GBA games. And just that weird nebulous time where there's like a beat 'em up on the Wii and he just kind of fell out of popularity. He was still like people
What?
still had. Yeah. There
What are you
was
talking about?
there was a Crash Bandicoot beat 'em up game during the Wii era where he was wearing tribal tattoos, and I can't remember what.
Oh, Twin Sanity?
Something like that.
No, not Twin Sanity. I know what design you're thinking of. Trying to see
Hmm.
what game that was. Crash of the Titans. They did like
That's
a
right.
redesign reboot, and he looks fucking weird. Like I don't necessarily mind the travel tattoos part of it, but like his body
Mhm.
build is different. It just doesn't
Right.
look
Yeah.
right.
It was odd. It was Crash would
Yeah.
also be kind of a cool nod because I mean he's a Microsoft as an Activision character for a long time, but he started with Naughty Dog, started as a first party Sony character.
Yep.
If Sony's not going to play ball, there's the cute way that you get a Sony character in Smash regardless.
Hmm.
And Naughty Dog is a massive company still. The Last of Us, Uncharted, yada yada. They've kind of moved on from this kind of game. Be a good nod to their history. Um,
Like I would prefer Spyro, but I would love Crash. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately for Spyro, Crash has always kind of loomed over him.
Yeah. It doesn't really what killed. I think Spyro would be much more loved in Japan if his first game hadn't been ripped apart in the localization for Japan
Hmm. Hmm.
because they
Yeah, I
broke the
loved.
game.
Yeah, that was the one with Nasty Nork, right?
Yes.
That was the one I played as a kid with Jose. Yeah, that was great. It's an iconic game and I just enjoy that structure more than Crash personally. Both because it was a little easier and because it's more of an open gameplay setup.
Yeah. Spyro is
Um,
more like not open world, but
mhm.
like explorable levels for your 3D platforming. Crash is run in a straight line or running up. It's a two Crash is largely 2D, whereas
It's
Spyro
indicative
is
of the
3D.
time for sure.
Yeah.
Like Crash did not kind of push the same boundaries that Mario 64 did, for
No.
instance. But it is tight gameplay. It's a good series.
Yeah.
Um, all that said, what are we thinking percentage wise? Good lord.
I have a like a 20-degree span where I'm hovering.
Okay.
Like anywhere
I'll
between go on.
no, um oh okay, may as well. I was gonna say I'm thinking like this 60 maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's a little high.
It's the upper threshold of where I was at. I'm gonna
Mhm.
go with a 50.
I'll say 55.
Okay. All right, moving right along then. That's three. We got one more or two more to go. Number four. We were just talking about a character that was acquired by Microsoft.
And
Now we're
here's
gonna talk
another
about
one.
another one. The
Mhm.
Dragonborn or Dovahkiin from the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
You know what I have to say about that? Fuzz Roda.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, it was either that or taking an arrow to the. We all know it.
Yeah.
Or the more
Dragon.
recent name, like, oh, you're awake. Anyway, what?
Yeah. Dragonborn would be, again, we've got like, it's a human sword fighter. But Elder Scrolls and Skyrim in general, like there's a variety of weapons, skills, magic, potions, and specifically to the Dragonborn, dragon shouts, which I kind of feel like they would go all in on dragon shouts with his specials. That just my assumption here is what they would do with him. Um, Dragonborn, I don't know how popular Elder Scrolls or Skyrim specifically is across the sea. I know it's extremely popular here. They release it on every fucking console under the sun, which is
The
why.
fridge.
And the Alexa. I fucking man,
Yeah.
what the hell? But you can't like we can't. Nobody can say like non-gamers have heard of Skyrim. We've all heard of the Dragonborn. We know what this is. And I think that plus ESO is why we have not seen Elder Scrolls 6 at all. Because it's just like, all right, there's going to be a huge amount of pressure for them to follow up on that. Good luck not
Yeah.
falling on your face. Not that I'm insulting Bethesda, but it's like it's something huge to live out to try to succeed.
Yeah.
And like people still start up new files of the game that they've already beaten 8 or 10 times. It's like we're gonna start another Skyrim let's or play through, and we're gonna 100% everything again. It's like you people scare me.
Oh, yeah.
Like you terrify
Yeah.
me.
Skyrim has a lasting legacy, as you said. We spoke to this earlier when we were kind of yammering about Donkey Kong. Um, talk about an evergreen game title. This thing is out on everything since the 360 era.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it is like, funny memes and glitches aside, a massive accomplishment and a great game, as Elder Scrolls are wont to be. I was trying to gauge here, like what the popularity of the series is in Japan or overseas. It seems like there's a lot of sales in Russia and France, so it's like which is still, kind of more Western. Apparently, South America is pretty into it. So,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
interesting.
What part of Russia is Western to you?
The all of that to say,
Oh,
it's not
okay.
traditionally East Asian. You know what I mean? It's a white presenting country.
Apparently, Skyrim debuted at number 4 on the Japanese charts with the original PS3 version.
Right. Interesting.
Like it's
Uh.
done well over there, it seems.
Mhm. Okay, well, I mean, in that case, it's fair game.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, Skyrim had a successful Switch port, etc., etc. I would say chances are perhaps a little higher than Crash's.
This man, not 5 minutes ago, was like, Crash is the most likely third party character. Cut to now. His chances are higher than Crash's.
I didn't say he was the most likely third party character. I said he's one of the most likely third party characters.
Did you? I
Yes.
didn't hear the words
Roll
one
the
of.
Ask our editor to roll the tapes.
That's me.
Where did Jeeves go?
Into the ether. He got swallowed up by Bing and Yahoo.
That could be a character for a future penultimate Smasher match.
Who would he go up against?
The Yahoo exclamation point.
No.
That guy, the Akinator.
That's not a
There you
bad
go.
idea. That's not a bad idea.
Every so often. Every so often. But yeah, I do like, again, perhaps the argument is you won't get every Microsoft character in. I don't know how much of an argument actually is. There's not evidence in either direction to say like, oh, we can't possibly get Chief, Doom Guy, Dragonborn, and Crash in the same game, can we? Until it happens. So just the way that it stands on its own, I don't know. Like I'm feeling like around 60-ish. I don't want to go much higher than that.
I'm in that same general area that I was with Crash.
Yeah. You know what? This time I will just say 60.
Okay. I'm I think I'm gonna say 50 again. Fuck it.
Okay.
So 55% is our average there.
Cool.
All right,
Okay.
last rate 13th character, and it's the non-specific action figure, which
Yeah.
I don't remember which year of E3 this was, but this thing just it was used in some of the skits for Nintendo's E3 Nintendo Direct presentation. It's this weird cyan and red action figure looking guy with
hmm
orange wings and a sword. I don't know. Did they take an existing action figure, just like color parts of it? Did they produce some custom figure for this? I don't know what this thing is supposed to be, but it was referred to in the direct as the non-specific action figure, and like Reggie or Water or somebody was holding it up and being like, "Hey, this
Oh,
is our thing," and the internet took that and ran with it for like a week,
yeah.
and I'm just over here
It
just like,
was
"What?"
it was so good. It was peak Nintendo meme. Um,
Was
Good
it?
lord. It was around the time. Who is that? I think that's Bill Trinan holding it up right now, but I'm pretty sure Reggie. Yeah, there's Reggie in the audience talking about. Okay, so it was during the Wii U era. At least in the top 5 most notable things from the Wii U. All said, it looks kind of like they bought a like maybe a very cheap like dollar store action figure and just kind of painted over it and pasted eyes made out of post-it notes over
Yeah.
it. Which is pretty, yeah. I mean, could have been that Reggie made that in a day himself. It was
I
very
didn't even
accomplished.
notice when I'm looking at more pictures of it now. The eyes and the face and the smile, rather, those aren't painted. That's just paper that got taped onto it.
I never really paid attention enough to know that until it's pretty entertaining.
God.
I think they might have just gotten like a wrestler did
Either that or like He
horrible
Man
acts
or
to it.
some shit.
Yeah, yeah. Will He-Man get into the next Smash? Who knows?
No.
They're making a lot of new content. Ask Kevin Smith. Um, God, just looking at this thing, it's such a bygone era. These
It was in the Wii U era. Oh, it was the 20.
mhm.
This was 2012.
Wow, it was around the time that we released them.
It was 12 years ago.
Fuck. Why? God, why? Yeah, we are old.
This was like when the Wii U was first being shown off.
That
Because like I'm reading about this thing. It was like during the trailer, it's like kids playing a video game about with zombies. He tries to use the Me universe to look up tips, which I guess Meverse got a name change at some point. I don't
me you.
remember that. And he was like the kid would like refer to Natsu's action figure during the video, like he was talking to it. You know, like kids talk to their toys. You know that's a thing.
Mhm.
I was like, what in the f?
I think if they had to bring this out to advertise the Wii U, that was kind of indicative of the Wii U's legacy at the time. That's funny. That goes right up there with Iwata and the bananas. Um, Reggie saying he feels like a purple Pikmin.
The Miyamoto and everybody turning into Star Fox characters.
Yeah. Yes.
That one was
Yes.
weird.
Yes, it was. Oh, or the Me Fighter reveal with Iwata and Reggie
Okay,
beating the
that was
shit out of each other.
amazing
That
though.
was yeah.
Let's not talk shit. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. It was.
The fact that we didn't
No,
get to
I.
that trailer in our trailer reactions episode upset me. It's like, no, I wanted to watch that one. Assholes.
Well, we will. At least we will next
Maybe.
season. Yeah, we'll fast track it. Yeah, it's all indicative of a time that's passed. We kind of mentioned this in I think the on topic Mario episode where we're like, yeah, Reggie and Iwata, we just don't have things like this happen anymore with like almost influencer esque iconic people at the top of Nintendo presenting these things with these ridiculous skits. Uh, all that said, I think non-specific action figure is about as far gone as that era is.
Yeah. Like
Or
this was like a character. And I say that in quotation marks for you audio listeners. Non-specific action figure is a character that appeared in the promotional videos for the Nintendo Wii U and has not appeared in anything from Nintendo since.
I'm surprised they
No
haven't gone
chance.
further with it. Like at that time, they could have done so much more, but they just kind of didn't.
I mean, the only
Yeah.
way I think they would have done anything more is like small little cameo references, like an avatar or whatever in Miiverse, or making a
Mhm.
small appearance in WarioWare.
Yeah.
That's all I would have
Now
ever
me
expected out of this.
now quick shout out to Miiverse, the only social media platform I was ever famous on. It was a good run.
How were you famous
People
on Miiverse?
thousands of people liked my drawings of Waluigi and Gooby.
So
It was good
non-specific
time.
action figures chances of getting Smash. Uh, if I was allowed to say 1 or 0%, I would say 0%. But I'm not allowed to do that on this show, so I'm gonna say 1%.
99.
No,
21.
bullshit.
Okay, here's why. The character is relevant to the history of Nintendo, and if they wanted to call back to a very specific time as a for a special WTF moment, it could be him.
I'm sorry. What is Nintendo historical about the non-specific action figure?
It was held by two Nintendo executives.
Listen, there's a lot of things that you could say were held by two Nintendo executives, or more even.
And its colors are instantly indicative of this time. You will be taken back every time you see him. An iconic character. 14%. 1%.
Here's the thing, viewers and listeners. I don't know which percent is his actual answer. If he's just going to the one to appease me, I don't know what the truth is here.
It's 1%.
See, I know 99 is a
There's no
lot,
way.
but I don't
Yeah.
know if 14 or 21 is what I don't think he really meant 21. There's a chance he really means 14. I don't know what he's
No, I
actually
no, no,
saying.
no, no. No, I meant one. I meant one. There is no way. Even if you're calling back to obscure moments in history, you can do anything. You can do Napoleon. You can do the fucking mini kangaroo. You can do Discoon. You don't have to do this. It would
You
be
should.
funny as hell. I would do this if I directed Smash. I would put this character in.
I would do at best a spirit or trophy or sticker, whatever the equivalent would be in the next game. At
Yeah,
fucking best.
and I would put in mm, mm, who would it be? I'll think about it.
While he's thinking about bullshit, I can say that the non-specific action figure is now the 8th character to get an average of 1% chance of getting the Smash. There have been 8 characters that we have just agreed and just like, nope, not happening. Period. So alongside non-specific action figure, that's the Shoryu from Neopets, the Anubis from Pow World, Bad Mr. Frosty from Clay Fighters, Jazz Jackrabbit from Jazz Jackrabbit, the Trapper from Dead by Daylight, Pablo Sanchez from Backyard Sports, and Masahiro Sakurai himself. What an illustrious band of characters that we've all just said, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
What if the first fourth party character was Orko from He-Man?
I don't know who Orko is.
Okay, the other one I was thinking of was Emperor Zurg.
The Toy Story version or the Lightyear version?
I'll say I like them both. Eat your heart out, incels. But the Toy Story
Oof.
version.
Well, okay. The Red Chance is done. Let's talk about some Smash or Dash. It's time to get weird. And I do mean that.
Let's give a round of applause to our last rate their chances of the season. What a crew.
Well, I mean, there's the Tournament of Champions, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, just for the rate their chances portions on it. But
yes.
yeah. But yeah, let's get into the meat of things here.
All right. Well, this first matchup. Oh boy. You know, a couple seasons ago, we had a Smash LP episode that ended on Christmas. We were just like, we should do a Christmas themed character and just have some fun with the holiday for it. And while we were discussing, we were trying to discuss like serious characters, but then we found there was no good serious choice. So then we decided, you want to get stupid? You made Ninja Bread Man. And we made a good moveset for a terrible character.
Yes.
But Ninja Bread Man has some cousins. And by that I mean Data Design Interactive is a shit company. And they made 4 games that were all skins of each other. So Ninja Bread Man has 3 cousins. And we're going to talk about 2 of those cousins. And the 4th cousin, well, again, it's that meme of the kid drowning in the pool. The 4th cousin is the one that's dead. There's a skeleton at the bottom of the pool.
Billy the Wizard. Rip.
No, Billy the Wizard wasn't a skin of Ninja Bread Man. Billy the Wizard was a different shitty Data Design Interactive game. Different. No, we are instead talking about Anubis II and Elviz.
Another illustrious Anubis.
Yes. Anubis II being, I assume he's supposed to be like the Greek god, or not Greek, Jesus Christ, Greek god, the Egyptian god Anubis, or maybe not because it's Anubis II, I don't know. But the game's called Anubis II, and that's who he is. Meanwhile, Elvis is from Rock and Roll Adventures. And I found out, looking at things earlier, Zool, or maybe it was Zool 2. No, I think it was Zool. They were like canceled levels that didn't make it into the game, and those levels got turned into these games. So like the Sweet level was turned into Ninja Bread, the music level was turned into Rock and Roll, the Egyptian level was turned into Anubis, and then there was another one that was like this Trixie Wishmaker something.
Wow, I didn't realize that it was that lazy.
Yeah.
That's really something else. Okay. Okay, so they're all derivative of the same game. The same game which had all of these levels in them to begin with. And then they just
Or
split them
like
up.
or concept
Oh.
form. I don't know like how far along they got, but
Right. Right. So I mean they're all generally quite similar to each other in terms of gameplay, like pretty much exactly the same.
yeah, it's
With
the
that,
same
yeah.
gameplay loop, the same goal, like collect the 8 things from the level. I think the same levels, even though just reskinned. Like this is the
Hmm.
laziest shit.
It's pretty funny until you realize that some people paid what $50 for this shit back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, more credit to you, data design. You hopefully you made some money out of these things where you faded into obscurity because not many people are as bold faced as y'all were.
yeah.
Good lord.
I mean, and I
um,
can't find
yeah.
much about Rock and Roll Adventures other than, your character's name Elviz, and you're in a music land. You've got a guitar. I don't know if you actually attacked it, but you have a guitar. And I don't know if like he's
Mhm,
supposed to be like the Elvis, or he's like an Elvis impersonator, which is like some other
mhm.
characters like similar to Elvis. I don't know. But then with Anubis, like he's like, I guess Anubis's son, because they're referring to him as like, oh yeah, he's supposed to be Anubis Jr. or something, and
Mhm.
he has to save Egypt against Mumhotep, who is an evil spirit trying to plunge Egypt into darkness. So he's
Oh my
got like the
god.
staff, that kind of looks like an ankh, and
Mhm.
assumedly can cast magic of some form. It's like, all right, so these two things that are skins of gingerbread man. What the fuck?
Call in Brendan Fraser. What the hell is going? So I'm watching gameplay of both of these games as you were talking.
Mm-hmm.
They look, yeah, they are the same.
Yeah,
They are the same.
they're the same
Anubis
gingerbread
second,
man, and
yeah,
then I'm trying to find what the fourth one is.
yeah. There is like a weird reticle thing that I think he might use for his simple spell in Anubis the second.
Mm-hmm.
He also runs like mad. Like, yeah. What's up?
Mythmaker, Trixie, and Toyland is the other game.
Oh, the Trixie's the skeleton. Right.
I
Um.
don't know. I have to look up
Oh,
which
no,
game then.
the call back to your pool name. Um.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Anubis the second. Like, oh
It's
my
some
god.
like little kid in like a bunny onesie. That's what
No
Trixie
thanks.
is.
No thanks.
Yeah.
God. The only thing I'm noticing here is that they play exactly the same, except Anubis the second seems like it's maybe worse somehow because they have him running kind of like Sonic. Like it's so caustic. They're moving so quickly. it's it's really a spectacle to yeah. If anyone wants to hurt themselves by through just visual intake, you can see Wii viewers Anubis the second review
Oh,
on YouTube, which I'm
uh,
watching right now. It's pretty entertaining.
it's not that it was cut from a Zool game. It's that Data Designer was trying to pitch a Zool game and they had a demo of it, but the owners of
Hmm.
Zool were not impressed. And
I
so
wonder
they
why.
took those data levels that they had and turned them into these other four games. Sweet World became Gingerbread Man, Music World became Rock and Roll, Toy World became Mythmakers, and from Zool 2, I don't know why there's a Zool 2 here, because they didn't work on that, but Tooting Common is what became Anubis the Second.
Why don't they? Why didn't they just make one game?
I don't know, like do some kind of like game where these four, call it myth makers or whatever, like what Trixie Toyland took, and have these four characters have to work together or some shit, going through different worlds.
Right.
That could have worked better.
It'd be, it would have been horrible, but it would have worked better.
Yeah,
At least it would have been a fuller game.
yeah.
Um, I there's so much you just have to assume about these characters because Elviz he swings an acoustic guitar around and that's it.
Yeah,
Anubis the second swings an ankh around and that's it. Like from what I'm seeing here.
yeah. It's like we can assume
And
that Anubis uses magic of some form. Elvis can probably produce musical notes by playing his guitar. It's like when we invented an entire moveset for Ninja Bread Man from
Hmm.
nothing.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny. It's a musician and a spellcaster archetype. We something about that sounds familiar, but I don't know what it is yet. Um, let's we'll see. As for these characters go, uh, I don't know. What are you feeling?
I mean, I'm not a music guy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I
Yeah.
like Egyptian mythology.
Yeah.
So if I'm picking
Want to
just to
go
the
for?
fact of like what these have as like their base core themes, I'm
Mm-hmm.
leaning Anubis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Elviz has a creepy smile. It's just kind of always smiling with very odd. He looks. He's like an emoji prototype. It's a little much. Um, yeah, I tend to agree actually because Anubis, at least it's, I don't know if I would say it's a more unique setting, but it's a more interesting one. Uh, and you can kind of say the fact that you can run at this ridiculous speed. Oh, and there was a spell. They actually showed him use a spell with the staff.
Yeah, I mean, all of them have
Okay.
a basic projectile because Ninja Branham had a projectile. I'm looking at an image of Elvis using projectile, but just like a simple like light blue energy ball, which
As
I assume
Elvis
gets
Presley was
fired
known to
out of
use.
yeah, which I assume gets fired out of the guitar because where the fuck else is it coming from? I don't know, man.
Yeah, he just I don't know. Oh
Join
my god,
Elvis's swinging party as he cleanses the world of offbeat tunes and the nightmare sounds.
what?
That's what's on the back of the case for the game.
And imagine some parent circa 2008 was like, "My kid will love this."
I don't know if any parent thought that.
A parent that went there's a very specific cross section of a parent of a child who owns a Nintendo Wii and a person who loves going to Elvis impersonator concerts. It was like that
Is
one
this you?
person. No, it's a woman named Dinah from East Bridge, Connecticut.
Okay.
Worked retail, first department at Macy's for their day job. That's what afforded them to buy their kid a budget Wii title every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Their favorite dish
Maybe
was a
let's
casserole.
not. I don't know if you're talking about if you're making random bullshit or, but maybe let's not dox a random person.
They're not real.
Okay. I had to
They're
make
not.
sure because this could have been like somebody writing their autobiography in a review on Amazon for all I fucking knew. Like I would have believed that because people do that before they post their recipe online.
I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that.
we all
I'm
hate
like,
that.
why? Why can we not just get to the fucking, like? I'm not here to read your life
No,
story.
we're not.
Show me the way you mix your meat. That's what we're here for. Wow. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, you are done. I'm shutting you down. Jesus Christ.
uh, uh, uh Anubis, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
voting for
okay.
Anubis. I honestly, I thought I thought this was gonna be a tie. I thought you were gonna go Elvis because of music. I was gonna go Anubis because Egyptian. I was prepared for this to be a tie and for me to be upset.
There are so many ties. There are so many ties. There have been. historically. And now that we're at the season's end, I have a clarity of mind to not do that to us.
See, it's one thing when a tie is legitimate, you know, but sometimes I feel like they're not always legitimate.
Going back in this last season, I would say they were legit. Looking at
No, I think there was at least a couple where you did it just to make a tie. I don't remember which ones, but I feel like it happened.
okay.
I will not be
I would say
convinced.
the weakest might have been Mallow and Phosphoro. Like I could have gone Phosphoro and just been done with
I
it
mean,
in hindsight.
that one's just like a weird period. Like with this one, if it was a tie, I would be like, yeah, I kind of expected this to be a tie because it's like there's nothing with these characters. We're just going off of archetype, so it's like this one was going to be a
Yeah.
whatever.
Right. Right. Well, yeah, I like Elvis's music, but there are, without getting into the history so too much, there are reasons. There are reasons that man has kind of there are controversies.
I wasn't aware there being Elvis controversies, but I
Yeah,
also don't give a shit.
yeah. He's dead.
He's dead, and I
But
don't
hey,
listen to music.
except for the soundtrack of Anubis II.
Well, a video. I have not listened to a new second soundtrack, but video games in general, yes.
There you go. I will say video game music should be considered more seriously as an art form, and video games in general.
Yes.
There you go.
It's like when somebody asks you like, "Oh, what kind of music do you listen to?" It's like nobody ever like if you say video game music, people will give you a weird look. But then when
Dude,
I say
uh,
like, "Oh, I don't listen to real music. I just listen to video game music," then some people tell me like, "Oh, that's real music." It's like, bitch, please. If you had asked me what kind of music I listen to, and I said video game music, you would treat the answer differently. Like, nah,
hmm
like
But
that's
I
not what
mean,
anybody thinks.
some of the best composers of all time, Nobuo, Koji Kondo, so on. The racist guy from Dragon Quest. They're all video game music. They are as legitimate as film score uh, craft creators and classical composers.
Yes.
Yeah. Anubis, the second soundtrack. I don't know if it's.
I don't know how good it is either. It might be the same thing as Gingerbread Man, for all I know. Actually,
oh no!
I
Oh
think
no!
it is.
It's bad. To no one's surprise, it's not good.
Now go listen to Gingerbread Man. Tell me if that sounds the exact
Okay.
same.
Ninja Breadman soundtrack is a better version of Anubis II's soundtrack.
So they
It,
probably
the-
released. Interesting.
it sounds like the same arrangement, but with different instruments.
Okay, so it's like
Mm.
Smash and a lot of games like do. It's like, oh, guys, here's our main theme. All right, cool, we love it. Great. Then you're gonna love all 27 remixes of it that we use in every other place of the game.
Okay, going back and listening to it, it is. It is the same arrangement with different instruments.
There you go.
Anubis II is so bad. It is so bad. It's just ugly in your face rock with this horrible muddy guitar. It's bad.
Wait, 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 wait,
It's
wait, wait.
again.
They use rock and guitar for Anubis the Second. What about rock and roll adventures? You'd think that's where the rock and
Let's
guitar would be.
let's see because now I'm curious. Unfortunately, uh, Rock and Roll Adventures, I guess, was not as popular as this or Ninja Breadman because it doesn't have an OST upload on YouTube.
It doesn't even have its own
But
Wikipedia page. It shares a page with Ninja Birdman.
my God, well, come on, see if this will load. There's Okay, and Rock and Roll Adventures is a better version of the same arrangement.
Yep.
It's Elvis-y, I'll give him that. It has a lot of piano and soul, and it's also bad. Sucks. It's terrible. And
Uh,
that I can see it now. They had the same. They had one song they made an arrangement on a production platform, and then just probably in this day and age, you could have just pressed the button. I wanted to sound like this in generative AI, and then okay,
I would love
yeah.
for one of the developers from this company who worked on these games to like do an interview and just like talk about it. It's like, what the fuck happened?
They're gonna reach out now. Dear Super Cast Brothers, I made the music for these games. How fucking dare you?
Listen, man, how fucking dare you?
Oh man. Oh, okay. What a time. What a moment in history this was to have to do this.
Yeah.
And
Let's
now it's
move on.
over, but it's not.
Yeah, now
Yes.
it's over, and we're moving on to our next matchup. Which is this a weirder matchup?
Yes and no, I feel like.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yes, because it's fourth party and never gonna happen in a sense. Um, although they are electronic characters.
They
Um,
both have one of these characters. I mean, both these characters have to do with your computer. If anything
mhm.
else, they are computer characters.
Computer characters from 20 to 30 years ago. They're of
Quite
a bygone
possibly,
time.
quite possibly the most. I wouldn't say the word popular. The most
Mhm,
well-known non-video game based computer characters. Period.
mhm. Yeah.
And they are Clippy from Microsoft Office
Yep.
and the AOL man from AOL Instant Messenger and their whole thing.
You've got mail. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh yeah, we got you got mail versus. Would you like some help with that? I see you're trying to write a letter. Would you like some help? It's like, no, Clippy. Thank you. I'm good. These two.
There was, yeah. Good lord. What can
Oh,
be said?
I I mean, let's be honest. Both of these characters would work in a very Game and Watch way.
Hmm.
Like if we had a fighting game of like these weird icons, these two could easily get animations and have attacks made off of them. Um, AOL man could send out a mail. Uh,
Yeah.
Clippy has canonically been shown to be able to bend his paperclip shape into different forms. He can also turn his sheet of paper into mail. He could summon a pencil and write. Why the fuck not? He's got his little friends that could come along for the ride. And AOL man, he's got more of a, I guess you would say, traditional body build of sorts in a Game and Watch way. Like he's not a fucking
Hmm.
paperclip. He's still a dude,
Hmm.
but he'd be a flat dude like Watch is. And I didn't really use AOL, so I don't
Hmm.
know really what all to pull from. Like, boy, we got those discs in the mail. It's like, here's your free AOL trial. It's like, hey, Dad, what's this? Trash. Like, okay. That was my history with AOL. We get the discs in the mail, and I'm told to throw them away. It's like, okay.
We bought into it. I remember our first family computer was an E-machine,
Mm.
CRT computer with a floppy disk insert for the AOL subscription. So they would buy up minutes every month at Target or Walmart or whatever, and insert it into the computer for internet dial up. What a different time. There is a whole cross section of folks listening to this who don't know what we're talking about. Um, all that said, Yeah, it drummed up some iconic sounds more than anything. I mean, the perhaps dial-up internet itself could be a part of the AOL. You can have some sort of dash or something where you're charging up and you hear dial-up internet when you're running forward, or you can release a barrage of AIM, AOL Instant Messenger messages like flaring forward with a bunch of old school emoticons in the bubble, or have a massive "You've got mail," just like huge envelope show up with "You've got mail." That'd be the final smash or some shit. And yeah, there are other sound bites from that time and that in the instant messenger era. When he comes onto the screen, it could be like "Welcome," as AOL says, and have him warp in or whatever. It's humorous. I put a tiny an iota how that could work. Clippy is a little, I don't know, a little more out there, just for the body shape of.
I'm looking at animations of Clippy right now, and he's got like he's a body morpher, really.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
can make himself look like a shovel, a box,
nice.
a bicycle.
Hmm.
Clippy can have a lot of weird shapes, and they can do a
Yeah,
variety of attacks based off of that. Uh, just imagine a straight line that you can turn into any shape, basically, and he can do something
I'm
with it.
happy with this. Yeah, yeah.
Where I would have him like quote unquote fly on his little sheet of paper. Like that's just like how he moves. Like instead of like walking or like how Bowser Jr. is always flying in his little Koopa Clown car. So he's always just like flying there, lounging on the
Hmm.
paper, so to speak. But then
Hmm.
the paper can do different things for attacks, or he can just bit himself into different shapes. Just do a bunch of weird shit.
That's true. That's
Final
true. And if you can
Smash
add
is
in,
I see you're trying to write a letter. Would you like some help with that? And he instead writes a resignation letter from the game for the character, and they get deleted.
yeah, that's a good one. And have the nine like Windows Microsoft 98 up there or something. That'd be
I mean,
pretty entertaining.
you can give him spell check. Uh, have him just
Hmm.
like throw out words and letters. Paint wasn't part of Microsoft Office, but I would be okay with him like referencing in this Paint in some fashion.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely. Paint. If you want to traumatize all of your opponents, you can include Excel in some way.
Hey,
Um,
let's not talk about how many Excel files I have open right now, okay? We don't talk about my spreadsheets. There are
there was a music.
many.
Who was that? I mean, I know this isn't relevant to your interest, but I need to look this up now. There was a music video from back in the day, Kelly Rowland, where she had a flip phone. But
Sir, I need
anyway,
to
back in
stop
the
you.
day,
Everything
yeah,
from she had a flip phone until butt was inaudible.
really, that's
You
odd.
you've been of the past 30 45 minutes you've been doing that thing where like it cuts out every couple words, and sometimes we get the context. That time we did
Mhm.
not get the context.
Well, there's a storm. Um, but she had a flip phone, and she was texting like a guy in the music video, but she was writing in Microsoft Excel instead of the text messaging app. And it was like an Excel screen. She was writing into the cell in Excel, "Where you at?" or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
That's like when people you're doing like some show and they just show like
Hmm.
the kids like playing video games or something, but they're holding a PlayStation controller, but when they show the game on the screen, it's a Nintendo game. It's like,
Hmm. Yep.
sirs, that's not how
Yep.
it works.
And when this happens, it's a whole team of people who have reviewed this and produced it. It's not just one person.
Yeah. It just
So
shows how
I mean,
people don't know / respect
yeah,
video games.
right. When we make a mistake on this show, which I don't know how often that happens. I don't
It
think it ever
doesn't.
does. At least it
We're
would just be the
perfect.
two of us.
I'm perfect.
Yeah. No. Wow. I see you corrected yourself.
Yeah.
um. Yeah. That. I mean, that's really interesting. How Clippy. I was 5 when I had Clippy in office, maybe 4.
Did you actually
I
use Clippy, or did you change him into one of his other assistants?
Yes, yes.
Because
There
I
was a
used the
dog.
robot.
There you go. There you go. I think there was that where the dog was from.
Yeah,
I
it was a dog.
remember. Okay. I have vague memories of the old school computers where there was a little like brown dog
Mhm.
that ran around the screen. It
Yeah.
wasn't the yellow one with um. But yeah,
There was the dot, which is like this great big red dot. The genius that looked like
mhm,
Einstein. The office logo, which is like puzzle pieces. Mother Nature, which is a circle with flowers. Rocky the dog, who's a yellow dog. Merlin the wizard. Uh, Clip It, not Clippy. It's actually his correct name. Uh,
mhm.
but that was like Then there were older. There was a cat as well. Um, Trying to see them all. But there was like multiple versions that had like different characters. Yeah, the cat was named Lynx. But then an older version uh had like the Power Pup, which was like a dog with a
Mhm.
superhero cape. Scribble the cat, which was like me out of different pieces of paper. Will, which was just like a cartoony Shakespeare.
So all of these characters can appear on the Final Smash.
Oh, or as spirits.
Yeah, also true.
There was a
Also
hoverbot
true.
robot thing, which a lot of the original ones got replaced. So like I never knew
Hmm.
hoverbot or superhero dog. I knew the I knew the genius. I knew Lynx. I knew the robot that was named F1. That was mine.
Hmm.
He's great.
Nice.
And they could even appear in like
Um,
some attacks. I mean, like I don't really know what I would do. I don't think I put them in the attacks. Honestly, I just think about Clippy. But
well, Clippy's also pretty sassy. Like I think that's why he's still in the memory of people today. Like with the
I
need
mean,
help on
I mean,
writing
the
here.
internet made Clippy be sassy.
Hmm. That's true. I mean, you can have Clippy come in like a victory, say, "Oh, I see you need help winning Smash or something to that degree." I don't know, but like take those pseudo iconic phrases and turn them into game related things would be kind of funny. Hmm. It definitely has more character than the AOL. I right away, and it's a more and there's more qualities to the way that you can pose his body and make him move around.
Clippy's splash
Um,
screen would be Clippy is here to help.
there you go. What would AOL guys be? AOL guy dials in.
Yeah, actually, probably that. I was trying to think of something with You've Got Mail, uh,
Hmm.
but dials in actually works pretty well.
Yeah. Hmm. You've got mail can be a smash. It could be a standard move. It could be a
It's
special
absolutely a
final
taunt.
smash.
At minimum, it's a taunt.
Hmm. Hmm. It's such an iconic phrase, though. It's so indicative of that era. I I think it could be a final smash somehow.
Yeah,
Like, hmm.
I mean like a taunt where he says it. I would say.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, and that's where you go with that character. You could just bring qualities of AIM in there. You can bring in just like different icons and widgets related to AOL, I suppose.
Yeah,
Or can the icon somewhere in there? You can do like some sort of move where he becomes more pixelated because the dial-up sucks. I don't know.
That could be a special teleport. The internet
Oh,
connection,
okay,
his internet connection
okay.
dies, and then he reappears somewhere else where he got reconnected. Just call it disconnect. That's your up special,
There you go.
and it's a
There you
teleport.
go. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. That would work.
Yeah,
That would work. Somehow invoke the floppy disk subscription somehow. I don't know. Um, yeah, there's a lot. There's strangely a lot you can do with these characters.
they would be very
Um,
free for, and again, in a Game and Watch
mhm,
fashion, you could go really
mhm,
wide with their animations
yeah,
because they can be made to do borderline anything.
definitely. Of course, I don't think you ever used AOL.
No,
I used Instant Messenger very briefly as like messing around as a kid, and rightly so. My folks were like, "Oh, well, don't do that. You're fine." So my experience with AOL and where this guy comes from is also kind of minimum, as opposed to like I would go online for half an hour a day when I was a kid and play around, go on brainpop.com or something and play some flash games. But that was kind of the whole of it. And then you and I later on religiously used MSN Live Messenger for most of our communications, which was a whole era. It sure was something else.
it was a thing.
Oh my god. I loved how you can leave offline messages and then you could wake up the next day and just have them blow up your screen with pop-ups. I didn't take advantage of that at all. Yeah, I too remember the old war times.
Yeah, that's the flashbacks. Yeah, if this was a TV show, they would superimpose flashbacks over my head.
Hmm.
God,
Yeah,
let's bring them on.
flashbacks to the emoticons, man. God.
I still
Then
think it
we'd go
looks
on, yeah,
stupid.
and then we'd go on Skype later on and have sexy people chat with Octavianus and Sid.
That was Facebook.
I think it was it.
Yes,
I think we had a group with him in there too.
it started on
Maybe.
Facebook, and then you made a Skype group.
Oh my lord. Yeah, there were a few hours long conversations on there. They were less productive than this podcast, which is saying something. I think I might have old screenshots shared from that era, like on my Facebook page or my old MySpace or something.
Dear God, why?
Maybe it's worth looking into. You could
No,
superimpose them onto this episode.
no, I'm the editor, and I will not.
Well, where's Jeeves?
Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, that's Jesus dead. It just is.
For the moment. Yeah. Unfortunate.
It died a
In a
long.
way.
Actually, is
It
it?
died recently, I think. I don't think it's around, but I think it might have been around sooner. It might have been around later than you think.
Ask Jeeves was founded in 1996, and it then got rebranded as Ask 10 years later.
That's
But I guess
that's stupid.
ask.com is still around. Just does anybody
Hmm.
fucking use it?
Hmm. I don't know. Oh God, I what a trip down memory lane. I have found what I was talking about.
Is it a news website now? It looks like it's trying to be a news BuzzFeed like type website now.
Oh, I'm on there myself. What? That is odd. Kind of like Yahoo is kind of turned into over the years. Interesting to a degree. To a degree, it is interesting. Oh, I found I don't mention that. I'll tell you
Also,
later.
there's a weird 3D model of Jeeves, and I don't like it.
Uh-oh. Ask Jeeves 3D model. Oh. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see the Prime Minister at a time. Looks like it. Looks like a banker. I don't know if I trust him. Lord.
Anywho,
Remember Elf yourself? Okay, we're getting too off topic.
yeah, very off topic. We need to finish this matchup and finish the episode.
Okay, who are you voting for?
Clippy. I think it's funnier. Fight a little paperclip man. Do weird shapes. And also, I never used AOL.
There's a charm to AOL Guy because of what it represents overall. With the early ages of the internet. At the same time, Clippy is inherently the more interesting character, just based on how you can mold him into different shapes. I think that goes a long way. He also has assistants, companions that you can perhaps incorporate if you wanted to. The flying around on the paper is interesting. I envisioned a simple boomerang attack where Clippy literally throws himself. Kind of funny.
Good, yeah.
AOL Guy, yeah, I mean it scratches a certain part of my brain that Clippy doesn't because there's because the callbacks to the internet and that era. You've got mail, the welcome, the yeah, that's kind of it. The dial up stuff. I mean, there was some interesting. This is an oddly compelling mashup to think over and discuss. But ultimately, I also am voting for Clippy.
And there it is.
Same reasons.
The
There you are.
final normal Smasher Dash matchup of the season has been complete. We now have every participant in the Tournament of Champions that we'll be seeing later this in 6 weeks. We'll be seeing
Mhm.
all these winners going up against each other to see who's our ultimate Smasher Dash winner of the whole season. And as a bit of a recap on who all those characters are going to be, Andy from Advance Wars, Adult Kristen from East, Noah from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Lip from Penalty Pawn, Duster from Mother 3, 9volt from WarioWare, Agumon from Digimon, Ori from Tim Tim, Phosphora from Kid Icarus Uprising, Donkey Kong Jr. from Donkey Kong, the Bear Druid from World of Warcraft, Paper Mario from Paper Mario, the Adventurer from RuneScape, Zero from Zero Escape, the Hatchling from Nanosaur, Anubis II from Anubis II, and finally Clippy from Microsoft Word and Office Suite, whatever. One of these 17 will be our ultimate Smasher Dash character of the whole season. We got some
Here,
choices.
this is what a eclectic crew.
Yep.
We veered into a lot of unexplored places this year,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
it's
we
it's
have
been
some
interesting.
odd ones, I want to say every year. Like,
Tony Hawk got third. Yeah.
did he get third? I thought he got like four. Actually, no, third kind of sounds like that might have happened.
Hmm. But we'll see. I mean, we in a sense we kind of have Tony Hawk energy floating around the entirety of this season.
I mean, we have some characters that I think you could call traditional, quote
Oh,
unquote,
sure.
traditional big names, but
Yeah.
there's no Phoenix Wright,
No Dante.
no Dante.
What'll be interesting is, our perhaps our ultimate goal is to go at this for 10 years and say, okay,
8
here are
years.
10 ultimate tournament. Yeah, 8 years. That's right. And let's do a matchup of these 8 winners from the first 8 years of the show.
Jonno, on our
Yeah.
planning document, will you please scroll down to year 8's final Smasher Dash?
Oh yeah.
I've had
There
that
you go.
planned since season 2, sir.
I remember. I just remembered it incorrectly. Yes, and if you're listening, you know we have planned this show to a degree through year 10, ending in
Well,
2029.
we
Yeah.
we have, like, I wrote down like how many episodes it would be just like
Mhm.
if we went that far. It's like episode 300 would be early season 12. Does that mean we're going to season
Mhm.
12? No. It just means like I'm writing out the planning doc ahead of time so I don't have to write it later. That said, I had to fix all the
Yeah.
dates because I realized a
Mhm.
couple of days ago that I got the dates screwed up. Not on a previous episode, but like a couple of episodes from now, 2 episodes had the same date for some reason. I was like, oh no. And I realized that like everything was off by 1 week. So I was like, I'm gonna have to rewrite down all the dates. Fuck me.
I
But
remember that.
thankfully,
That
it
was
only
a bad
starts.
time.
Actually, I think it's this episode, and then the roster redux that comes out after this had the wrong date written down. Oh wait, no, it wasn't these. Um, it's actually a few episodes prior to this one being uploaded, but it's 2 episodes after being uploaded from today's date. That's where the error
Mhm.
started. I was like, oh shit, this needs to be fixed now.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. So it goes. Little bit of a look into the back room. But yeah, there we go. We have our ultimate tournament for this year lined up.
Yep.
A flagship moment, year 5.
And
5 years is a long time.
we'll have some guests on who will get to see. We'll go over like what the top 10 roster redux, or not roster, the top 10 rate their chances characters were of the season. Getting the guest reaction to that, and then they'll be helping us go to the tournament of champions so that we can't have a tie because season 1 was pain.
Yeah, season 1 was an arm twist and just kind of deciding who will relent first. Of course,
Yeah.
it was me. I'm the less the weakest of the two of us. If you set us in a cave and just let the feral ferocity of the apocalypse take over our minds, and we have to fight each other for sustenance, it would perhaps be you who would be dining on my flesh.
At least we can say this: whichever one of us survives, we got plenty of food.
Although you know what, I don't know. You're known as a you have a particular taste for what you eat. Maybe you'd kill me and not even be able to try a bite. You'd be like, I can't eat
Honestly,
Jono. That's
probably.
disgusting.
That's probably what would actually happen. It's like, listen, man, I can't.
Well, why would we even have to kill each other? We can just agree to try something if we needed to. You know, like here's my thumb.
Mm, no, no. On that note, next
On
episode
that.
kicks off the final set of episodes for the season, where we like to have our big finales for each one. And of course, our final on topic will be a roster games. But this time around,
Mhm,
it's not Nintendo related at all. Season
mm,
one, actually, season one we didn't have a roster game. Season two, we did the company roster game, adding one character from each of these from like a group of companies to Smash. Season two, we had the Thanos game where we cut the roster in half. Season three, we did Super Smash or no, that was season three. Season four, we did Super Smash Kart. But this time around, next episode, it's not Nintendo at all. It's not even a video game roster. It's a
mhm.
different, massive, multi-billion-dollar entertainment company. and you can probably guess which one it is. It's not. It's not. God, I was trying to think. What's a small name one I can just shit on a little bit? What's a
It's
small?
not. It's not I don't know.
I don't
It's
know
not
either.
Riot Games.
That's video games. I'm saying non-video game.
Oh, it's not Warner Brothers.
I wouldn't call Warner small, but yeah,
Oh,
they've also got their own fighting game with multiverses.
which has died off because apparently that final version did not do them favors.
What are you fucking talking about?
Well, not died off. People are
Multiverses
really
is
bagging on
back,
it.
dude.
Hmm.
They
What I meant to say is people are bagging on it hard. I'm not
well,
entirely
yeah,
sure why.
because they don't like the combat changes,
Oh, okay.
and it's a game as a service, and David Zaslav is this shit.
True. At least LeBron is in there.
God,
Not
LeBron
Tony Hawk, eat your heart out.
and Dwayne Johnson, Black Adam. It's like, oh, good. But hey, we had a Joker now, and Agent Smith is in the game, and they added buff as fuck Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, yeah. That's nuts. I mean, the capabilities of these fighters outside of Smash, where they don't have video games as kind of the stanchion to have to adhere to. There's some wacky shit.
Yeah,
It is pretty interesting.
like don't get me wrong, I want to make a multiverses like roster eventually. It's going to be like multiverses 10 years later or some shit. But I had to wait for them to have more time to grow and release characters before I can start to extrapolate.
Yeah,
But
I hear you.
we're not doing WB. We're not doing a company that already has a fighting game. I don't think they have a fighting game. So we're going to be making one from scratch. And that'll be in the next one, which I'm looking forward to
It's
recording.
not pizza parlor mascots either.
Because I know Jonno's picks because I have to for graphical reasons. He doesn't know mine.
One day that'll change. When Jeeves comes back and helps us edit the show, he can just take both of our rosters.
That would be very difficult to do, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, we'll let Jeeves answer that.
He's dead. No, we won't.
Well,
The
let's
episode
ask
is over. Goodbye, everyone.
him. Jeeves, no.